What is up, Universe? Jose Young's here at the SI MMA Fansided MMA office, standing across from Clay, the Carpenter Guida. Hometown fight for you, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been training with Team Alpha Male in Sacramento, but you're here in Chicago. You're from the Illinois area. Is this a fight that you have to come in and get a hotel, or do you stay with a family, or?
Both. So the UFC puts us up in really nice hotels, and then I live an hour north, so I'm going to go spend a night in my own comfy bed one night this week, too. So I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't been home in months.
It's got to be hard being in Chicago, kind of wait with all this food around there.
Man, I tell you what, of all the places I've been in the world, not because I'm biased, maybe I am, the food is the best in Chicago. It's absolutely incredible. So luckily I'm not cutting too much weight because I'm back at 155,
sure.
And it's easy for me to get there, but still just walking down the street and smelling all the good food, whether it be pasta or pizza or sushi or whatever, it's just steakhouses, just all these amazing restaurants. Makes me a little hungry.
So you're on the Chicago deep dish is better than New York pizza bandwagon, right?
Oh, Chicago pizza is better, all around better than New York pizza. I'm more of a thin crust guy, don't get me wrong. I do love Giordano's deep dish. I love all deep dish, but I would still much rather have thin crust, but I would much rather have any pizza in Chicago than any pizza over New York style.
And the last time you fought here, I believe, was the UFC on Fox card. It was your featherweight debut when you fought Hatsu Hioki to a split decision. That was in January, so it was pretty cold then. And I was there for that, and the consensus was the cold made cutting weight that much more difficult, just because you can't walk outside and sweat. Is that a reality?
You know what, for a lot of guys, it was my first time, and I had a great nutritionist because it was my first time going down to 145, being a long-time lightweight. I wrestled in college at 149, almost 10 years before that, so I was actually going below a weight that I wrestled at in college. So it was a pretty easy transition for me, but I just had to stay focused on that diet for a long period of time, 6, 7, 8 weeks, really not falling off at all. I had my little meltdowns here and there, but yeah, I'm a guy that likes to just pick up and run, go outside and run, and be warm and get the weight off like that. And back in January, anytime in January out here, you're not going outside, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless you can see your breath, and you're definitely not losing weight out there. So it was tough for some fighters.
And you're facing Charles Oliveira on Saturday on the Fight Pass card. You were originally supposed to fight Bobby Green. When Bobby fell out, were you surprised? I mean, he's been one of those guys that it seems like every time he gets a fight, he falls out, and then he'll fight 3 more times, then he'll have 3 fights fall out. So were you surprised at all?
Not surprised, at all about that. Bobby Green's not what you call a true warrior, you know what I mean? He'll fall off, at the drop of a dime. And hopefully someone, luckily Charles Oliveira took this fight on short notice, to step in for Bobby Green, brown, black, yellow, whatever you want to call him, man. He's a coward, so it's all good. But yeah, thanks for Charles for not letting me, not have an opponent in my hometown.
And this, I believe, is your 26th, 27th fight, like in the UFC or in the UFC, just right?
UFC, I think, yeah, we're pushing 30 fights, man.
So you've seen it all. So when an opponent changes, like Charles is arguably one of the best grapplers in all of the UFC, not just lightweight division. Bobby's kind of a stand-up striker. You've seen it all. It's not much of a big deal to change, right?
Right, yeah. Like you said, different opponent, same outcome. Getting my hand raised no matter what.
And Charles he's missed weight a few times. And we've had Robert Whitaker in this exact studio, and he says if his opponent missed weight, he wouldn't take the fight, and he doesn't get people that take the fight. We saw that last week, or a few weeks ago, Darren Till missed weight. Mackenzie Dern missed weight by 8 pounds. Where are you in that crowd where if Charles comes in overweight like he has a few times in the past, would you take the fight just because it's your hometown?
I'll just make him pay even more for it. I'm going to literally take his head and bounce it off the canvas like a basketball, you know what I mean? So I imagine he's usually a 145er, so 55 he shouldn't have a problem making weight. If he misses weight, I'm just going to embarrass him even more, you know what I mean? He's coming into the Lions Den, he's coming in Chicago, hometown, and he's going to pay dearly regardless, if he makes weight or not. So you better make weight, Charles. Other than that, I understand Whitaker's view, but to me, man, we train so hard for so long, and people spend their hard-earned money for these seats. They take off work, they take off time from their family. This is some people's vacation for the year, and they spend so much just on that, the fans. So to me, I owe it to them to go put on a show. I always make weight. It's what wrestlers do, you know what I mean? Top wrestlers, guys that care about the sport and represent it well. So for someone to not take the fight who made weight, I understand, but anytime, my opponent doesn't make weight, I'm going out there to fight. I don't care, you know what I mean? I'm a fighter, I'm a wrestler, that's what I do. I go out there and I put on a show for the fans.
And something Wonderboy did is after Darren Till didn't make weight, he said that he wanted to keep Darren Till at a maximum weight when he's entered the cage. So Darren will usually enter around 200. Wonderboy put in the contract that he couldn't be above 188. Does that make more sense to you? Something like that?
It's understandable. Everyone's different. You know what I mean? To me, if you get thrown around by a guy that's 5 pounds heavier than you or 25 pounds heavier than you, to me, it doesn't make a difference, man.
Sure.
Once you've wrestled, you've seen everything. Like Dan Gable said, once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy. So I'm not going to make an excuse whether a guy's got, bigger muscles than I do, which they most of them do. I don't care how many submissions, how many kickboxing matches, how many boxing matches he's been in. I'm going out there to fight come fight night.
And Dana was just on UFC Unfiltered. He said he wanted to work to get rid of the early morning weigh-ins. He think that might help all the missed weight now and go back to the old way where you weigh in at 4 p.m. on the stage. We talked to Jose Shorty Torres last week in Utica, and he weighed in early, and he had 36 hours to rehydrate, and he said it was great. He's never had a fight like that. Do you like the early morning weigh-ins, or do you want to go back to the old ways?
I've always thought since I got in the UFC that early morning weigh-ins are better because you think, we're professional athletes. You would think you would want your athlete at their peak performance come fight night, come the time they step in that cage. So the longer you give them to rest, to recoup, to refuel, to eat and just get back to whatever makes them click, I think they're going to perform better. But everyone's different. I personally don't cut a bunch of weight. I wake up and I walk down to the scale and I'm on.
Sure.
I walk down and I see some of these guys in their sauna suits. They're running. They're going to get in a van to go to a workout center. They're going to a sauna, and I smile and laugh at them. And I walk by with my little, my sandwich or my salad or my fruit, and I go jump on the scale, man. And I go back and take a nap till fight night.
And a lot's been made on placement of certain fights on this card. You're on the Fight Pass prelims. Rashad Evans is on the Fight Pass prelims. 10 years ago, you tell a fight fan Clay Guida and Rashad Evans are opening the show. That might catch a lot of people off guard. Does it matter to you where you are? Do you like fighting early? Do you like fighting later? A
fight's a fight. I've fought at banquet halls, VFW halls, bingo halls with my brother where we've been the first fight and we've been the main event too. So nothing changes in there. It's we go out there just to put on a show for the fans and have fun and realize how grateful we are to be healthy and to go out and fight in front of a hometown crowd. So I guess I don't feel as bad now since my buddy Rashad's fighting on the Fight Pass with me, I guess.
Joseph Benavidez made a big deal. I think he's on a 6-fight win streak, ranked #1 in the world, and he's on the Fight Pass prelims too.
Well, all right, now I feel less bad. All right, well, Joe B's my boy, and I guess we're going to have to go 3-0. Me, him, and Rashad are getting our hands raised on Fight Pass, so tune in.
Any word on what your walkout song's going to be?
You'll find out on Saturday night, right around 5 p.m.
What do you listen to lately? I know you're a big Metallica guy. We talked about this
absolutely,
a few years ago. I believe you were working out to Harvester of Sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What do you listen to right now?
I tell you what, I actually tried to walk out to Metallica again recently, a few fights ago, and it got shut down. So I don't know if it's copyright infringements between Metallica and their record label. There'll be some guitars in it. How about that? It's the only hint I can give you, man. I don't tell my mom. I don't tell my coaches. I don't tell my best friends who ask me, and try to find out what I'm walking out to. But I've been listening to a lot of punk rock lately.
Sure.
A lot of jam bands, Fish, Grateful Dead, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. I've been seeing a lot of. I saw Robert Plant a couple times recently. So there's so many different styles of music that have a huge influence in my life, and punk rock is one of them. Reggae, Pepper, Slightly Stupid, all these awesome bands. But it's going to be a good one.
Favorite Metallica album? I've always been a Master Puppets guy, and Just for All, I Can See.
Yeah, those two.
Kill 'Em All, I have like a soft spot for because that's the first album.
It was the first, exactly.
Sure.
I was just a little guy too, you know what I mean, when that one came out. So yeah, you got it. Puppets and Justice for All are two of the best. I mean, I came out, actually, I fought at the Oracle Arena when I broke the jaw of the former champ, Rafael Dos Anjos. He's still got a piece of metal in his jaw for the rest of his life. So hopefully I'll get a chance to, adjust the other side for him. When I fought him in Oakland, which is kind of where Metallica's from, San Fran, Oakland, I walked out to Frayed's Ends of Sanity. So that was pretty awesome. That was before they kind of put the lockdown on, Metallica walkout songs. That's one of my favorite songs. Creeping Death, I mean, you name it, the list goes on and on. I mean, Harvester Star, Shortest Straw, I mean, those guys are incredible. And to see them live and on stage like I have been, and I got to meet Hetfield a couple months ago. Dude, just great people, man. He was actually the only fight he's been to. He sat front row when I fought Gray Maynard in New Jersey. They played the next night in Atlantic City.
Wow.
And Hetfield was there. He gave me the horns. And just
so that's got to be a highlight for you.
Oh, I was pumped. That was more exciting than the fight.
Sure. And you're speaking of music, you're going to sing Seventh Inning Stretch, right?
Jeez, don't remind me. Yeah, I got to get them vocal cords ready, man. So yeah, I'm singing that tonight at the Cubbies game. So don't miss it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be funny. Bring your earmuffs, bring your earplugs. You know, because I don't sing in front of a large group of people. I wrestle and I fight in front of people. So
that's a bucket list for you, right?
Yeah. Should be a good time. I got friends and family coming out. We're all gonna meet up beforehand, and it's gonna be special. I grew up as a Cubs fan, you know, looking at the Ivy when I was just a little guy in a stroller, and to have my family and friends there, they are flying in from all over the country for this. It's a special point in my life.
And I'll close it out with this. This is the first pay-per-view in Chicago, UFC pay-per-view, headlined by 2 title fights, 2 real high-profile ones. Which one? I know you brought up Rafael. Is that one you're mostly paying attention to just because you have fought him before?
Yeah, that one for sure, because I want to see Colby Covington. People kind of knock him all the time.
Sure,
But that dude's super tough. Obviously, Rafael dos Anjos is, as advertised, he keeps getting better and better to go up a weight class and be able to not only be successful, but he's dominated.
Sure.
What is he, 3 fights in a row now, or was it 4 at
Just
170? Yeah, I mean, he's beating some studs at 170. So I would definitely like to get in there and mix it up with him again. I'd like to see Colby Covington win this fight, you know, because I want to see a wrestler, you know, hold that strap. And the rematch of the main event is going to be awesome. I thought that was such an awesome, exciting fight when Whitaker and Yoel Romero went at it before. And to me, Yoel is one of my heroes. He reminds me of he's like a superhero. The dude looks like he's just chiseled out of stone, straight out of a comic book. And I think he's going to be the first person to throw someone out of the octagon. And Whitaker surprises me every time. He's just one of those guys. He comes out and he finds ways to win. And I didn't expect him to ever crack the top 5 or 10 in his division. And the dude's holding the belt. So this whole card in Chicago is going to be awesome. And to be able to fight at the United Center, the house that Jordan built, the Madhouse on Madison, it's going to be unbelievably loud and just it's going to be electric.
All right, so you heard from Clay Guida, big night of fights coming to Chicago. Stick around, we're going to have Curtis Blades on right after, but Clay, thanks for the time.
Thank you guys so much. Peace.